Welcome back to the channel, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and valuable coins in the world of American numismatics, the 1980 D Mint marked Jefferson nickel. This coin has captured the attention of collectors, investors, and history enthusiasts alike, and for a very good reason. Its current market value is a staggering $19 million, making it one of the rarest and most sought-after nickels in existence. In this video, we will explore everything you need to know about this coin, its history, why it's so rare, how to identify one, and why it can be worth such an astronomical amount. So, make sure you stay tuned until the very end, because this is going to be an eye-opening journey into the world of rare coins. Let's start by understanding the basic background of the Jefferson nickel. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel, and has since become a staple of American currency. The obverse of the coin features a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, designed by sculptor Felix Schlag. The reverse showcases Jefferson's famous Monticello home, symbolizing American heritage and the ideals of liberty and democracy. Over the decades, the Jefferson nickel has undergone subtle design changes, but collectors have always paid special attention to certain mint years, errors, and unique characteristics that make specific coins exceedingly rare. The 1980 D Mint marked Jefferson nickel is particularly special due to a combination of rarity, production quirks, and the stories surrounding its discovery. While the 1980 nickel is not uncommon in general circulation, the D Mint mark, paired with certain rare variations, can create a coin of extraordinary value. To understand this, we need to delve into the story of the Denver Mint and the production process of nickels at that time. The Denver Mint, where the D Mint mark signifies, has historically produced millions of coins each year. However, sometimes errors occur during the minting process. These errors can include doubled dies, misaligned strikes, missing mint marks, off-center strikes, and other anomalies. In the case of the 1980 D Jefferson nickel, the coin that commands the $19 million price tag is linked to a very specific mint error that occurred during production. This error was incredibly rare, so rare in fact that only a handful of specimens are known to exist today. Each of these coins is considered a piece of numismatic history. So what exactly makes the 1980 D Mint marked Jefferson nickel so valuable? There are a few key factors. First, rarity. Collectors are always on the lookout for coins that were minted in limited numbers or have unique characteristics that distinguish them from the millions of others minted that year. In the case of this coin, the specific combination of the 1980 date, the D Mint mark, and the rare error creates a coin that is essentially one of a kind. Second, historical significance. Coins like this are not just pieces of metal, they are snapshots of history. They tell a story about the United States Mint, the coin production process, and the culture of coin collecting at the time. Third, demand. There is a passionate community of collectors and investors who are constantly searching for rare nickels, and when a coin as unique as the 1980 D Jefferson nickel appears, bidding wars can drive prices to astronomical levels. Identifying a genuine 1980 D Mint marked Jefferson nickel is crucial for anyone considering an investment. There are several key markers to look for. The first is the mint mark itself. The D Mint mark, located on the reverse side of the coin, must be examined under magnification to ensure it is authentic. Some fakes or reproductions attempt to mimic this mint mark, so careful inspection is vital. Next, collectors look at the strike quality and any anomalies that make this coin unique. This could include double dies, off-center strikes, or variations in the rim. The patina and wear of the coin are also indicators of authenticity, as genuine coins from 1980 will show signs of aging consistent with their 40-plus years of existence. Let's discuss the historical context of 1980. The late 1970s and early 1980s were a fascinating period in the United States. Economically, the country was navigating high inflation and fluctuating markets. Culturally, it was a time of innovation and change. Within this context, coins were being produced in massive quantities to meet the demands of everyday commerce. The Jefferson nickel, being a primary medium of exchange for small transactions, was produced in staggering numbers. Yet, amidst this mass production, certain anomalies slipped through the cracks. Anomalies that today make a coin like the 1980 mint-marked Jefferson nickel an object of immense value. Now, let's talk about the market. The fact that this coin can command a price of $19 million is not just about rarity, it's about market perception. The numismatic market is driven by scarcity, demand, and historical significance. When a collector or investor recognizes that a coin is virtually impossible to find and holds a unique place in history, they are willing to pay extraordinary sums. Auction results for coins like this have consistently shattered previous records, and it's not uncommon for collectors to wait years for a coin to appear on the market. The excitement and anticipation around finding such a coin add to its value, turning it into a veritable treasure for those lucky enough to own one. But why do some coins become so incredibly rare? In the case of the 1980 Jefferson nickel, it's believed that very few coins with this particular mint mark and error combination were released into circulation. Many may have been caught during quality control, melted down, or lost over time. This means that the few coins that survived are now considered priceless by collectors. In addition, the coin's condition plays a huge role. A coin that is in pristine, uncirculated condition can fetch millions, while one that is heavily worn will naturally be worth less. Professional grading by organizations like PCGS or NGC can help establish a coin's authenticity and condition, which in turn affects its market value. For those who may wonder how to even begin searching for such coins, it often starts with awareness and education. Coin collectors frequently inspect rolls of nickels from banks, attend auctions, and stay informed about rare coin discoveries through newsletters, forums, and numismatic societies. Many of the most valuable coins have been found in the most unexpected places: pockets, old jars, or forgotten drawers. Some collectors dedicate decades to finding the elusive rare coin, and when they do, it can change their lives. The 1980 Jefferson nickel also has a fascinating collector culture surrounding it. Stories abound of individuals who discovered one in circulation and had no idea of its value until years later. Imagine finding a coin in your change that is suddenly worth millions. These real-life treasure stories add to the allure and mystique of rare coins. There are also legendary auction stories where bidding for a single coin reached astronomical amounts, with collectors competing fiercely to secure ownership. This human element, the thrill of discovery, the competition, and the excitement of history, makes coin collecting far more than just a hobby. Now, let's touch upon investing in rare coins. Many people today view coins like the 1980 Jefferson nickel as both a collectible and an investment. Unlike stocks or bonds, rare coins are tangible assets that can appreciate in value over time, especially if they are well preserved and rare. However, investing in coins requires knowledge, patience, and access to the right resources. Provenance, or the documented history of a coin, can also enhance its value. Coins with a clear chain of ownership, especially those that have been part of famous collections, are particularly desirable. It's also important to discuss the verification process. With coins valued in the millions, authenticity is non-negotiable. Professional grading services provide authentication, condition grading, and encapsulation to protect the coin. The grade can range from circulated to uncirculated and even to perfect mint state. Each grade corresponds to a market value, and coins like the 1980 Jefferson nickel, when graded in mint condition, command the highest premiums. Collectors and investors alike often seek out third-party verified coins to ensure that they are making a legitimate purchase. In terms of numismatic history, the 1980 Jefferson nickel will likely continue to hold a special place. It serves as a reminder that even coins that were mass-produced for everyday use can, under the right circumstances, become legendary treasures. Welcome back, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Today we are diving deep into one of the most sought-after and astonishingly valuable coins in the world, the 1987 mint-marked Jefferson nickel. If you've ever found yourself casually digging through a jar of nickels, this might be the one coin that could completely change your life. That's right. This rare Jefferson nickel isn't just a collectible, it's currently valued at an incredible $16 million. Yes, you heard that right. $16 million for a single nickel. Today, we're going to explore everything about this coin, its history, rarity, unique features, why it's so valuable, and what makes it a dream for collectors and investors alike. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for and why this coin is one of the most legendary pieces in numismatic history. The Jefferson nickel has been a staple of American coinage for decades, first introduced in 1938 as a replacement for the Buffalo nickel. Designed by Felix Schlag, it features President Thomas Jefferson on the obverse side, and Monticello, Jefferson's iconic Virginia home, on the reverse. Over the years, these nickels have become an essential part of everyday American life, yet very few have ever reached the stratospheric heights of value that the 1987 D-Mint marked Jefferson nickel has achieved. Unlike typical nickels, this coin represents a perfect storm of rarity, historical significance, and collector demand. So why is this particular nickel so incredibly valuable? First, we need to understand the D-Mint mark. Coins are minted in different facilities, and each mint uses a mark to indicate its origin. The D represents the Denver Mint, one of the United States' key coin-producing locations. While many coins bear this mark, a combination of limited production, minting errors, and sheer historical circumstance led to the extreme rarity of this 1987 D Jefferson nickel. Collectors often describe the 1987 D nickel as a modern-day legend. Unlike older coins, which can achieve high values due to age alone, this coin is from a period when nickels were still circulating widely and millions were minted. So what makes it so rare? The truth lies in a combination of minting anomalies and the coin's unique journey through the numismatic world. Some 1987 D nickels were struck in a way that resulted in a perfect combination of die alignment, metal composition, and strike clarity. The result is a coin that is virtually flawless, almost museum quality, and nearly impossible to find in circulation. The history of this coin is fascinating. In 1987, the United States Mint produced millions of nickels for general circulation. Yet, somewhere in the production process, a tiny batch of coins with the D-Mint mark exhibited characteristics that would later make them extraordinarily rare. These coins, unbeknownst to the mint at the time, were destined to become some of the most sought-after coins of the 21st century. Over the years, these nickels began appearing in private collections, often discovered by lucky collectors who never knew their fortune until the coin was professionally appraised. Each coin tells a story not just of monetary value, but of craftsmanship, chance, and history. Now let's talk about the condition, because condition is everything in numismatics. The most valuable examples of the 1987 D Jefferson nickel are in pristine condition, often graded MS-70 or perfect mint state. This means the coin shows no wear, no scratches, and no imperfections. Essentially, it looks exactly like it did the day it was minted. Even minor imperfections can drastically reduce the value, so collectors seeking this coin often search for decades to find one in perfect condition. Some of these coins have been kept in special archival cases, untouched, and sometimes even wrapped in the original mint packaging. This preservation ensures the coin maintains or even increases its value over time. The 1987 D nickel also stands out due to its historical context. 1987 was a fascinating year in American coinage. The mint was experimenting with different striking techniques and improved metal compositions. While the Jefferson nickel design remained largely unchanged, minor variations in die production, metal sourcing, and striking pressure led to anomalies. These anomalies are exactly what make the 1987 D mint marked Jefferson nickel so exceptional. Some coins display perfect die alignment, while others have slight variations in rim thickness, letter spacing, or strike clarity. Collectors are particularly drawn to the flawless examples, which represent the pinnacle of modern minting excellence. For those unfamiliar with coin collecting terminology, let's break down why mint marks matter so much. A mint mark is more than just a letter on a coin. It tells the story of where and when a coin was produced, and it can dramatically influence its value. Coins from the Denver Mint are highly collectible, and when combined with rarity and perfect condition, their market value can skyrocket. In the case of the 1987 D Jefferson nickel, The mint mark is one of the key factors that differentiate an ordinary nickel from a multimillion-dollar treasure. Now, let's discuss the current market value. As of today, the 1987 Jefferson nickel is valued at a staggering $16 million. This makes it one of the most valuable modern coins in the world. Only a handful of these coins are known to exist in perfect condition, and they are fiercely sought after by private collectors, museums, and investors. When such a coin comes up for sale, it often attracts international attention, and bidding wars are common. The rarity, condition, and historical significance all combine to create this extraordinary value. It's important to note that the value of coins like this isn't static. Over time, market trends, collector interest, and auction results influence the price. However, the 1987 Jefferson nickel has consistently maintained its position at the top of modern coin values. Unlike many collectibles that fluctuate wildly, this coin has shown remarkable stability due to its unmatched rarity. Experts often refer to it as a once-in-a-lifetime find, because the likelihood of discovering one in circulation today is almost zero. If you're a collector hoping to find this nickel, there are a few things you need to look for. First, check the mint mark carefully. The D should be crisp, clear, and properly aligned. Next, examine the coin's overall condition. Look for sharp details on Jefferson's portrait, clean edges, and no signs of wear. Even the smallest scratch or imperfection can significantly reduce the value. Third, consider having the coin professionally graded by a reputable numismatic organization. A certified grade not only authenticates the coin but also provides potential buyers with confidence in its value. Interestingly, the story of this coin isn't just about money. It's about legacy, history, and the thrill of discovery. Imagine finding a coin in your pocket change that turns out to be worth $16 million. That's not just luck, that's a connection to a piece of American history, to the craftsmanship of the Denver Mint, and to the legacy of Thomas Jefferson himself. This is why collectors and investors alike are so passionate about coins like the 1987 Jefferson nickel. There are also fascinating tales from the world of auctions and private sales. Some of the coins have changed hands multiple times, each sale setting a new record. Enthusiasts recall stories of collectors traveling across the country, attending estate sales, and even combing through old jars of coins to find these rare nickels. Each discovery adds to the lore of the coin, making it not just valuable, but legendary in the numismatic community. For those thinking about investing in coins, the 1987 Jefferson nickel represents the ultimate example of numismatic investment. Unlike stocks or bonds, coins are tangible assets that carry historical and cultural significance. They are limited in supply, immune to inflation in a unique way, and can appreciate dramatically in value over time. The 1987 nickel exemplifies this principle perfectly, a small, seemingly ordinary object transformed into a multimillion-dollar treasure through rarity, condition, and collector demand. Let's also take a moment to appreciate the artistry of this coin. Jefferson's portrait is detailed and lifelike, capturing the essence of one of America's founding fathers. The Monticello on the reverse is meticulously crafted, representing Jefferson's legacy as a statesman, architect, and visionary. Coins like this remind us that numismatics isn't just about money, it's about culture, history, and the stories behind each strike. In conclusion, the 1987 mint-marked Jefferson nickel is not just a coin. It's a legend, a treasure, and a symbol of what makes coin collecting so exhilarating. From its historical context and minting anomalies to its current market value of $16 million, this nickel captures the imagination of collectors, investors, and history enthusiasts alike. Welcome back, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating coins in the world of rare collectibles, the 2002 mint-marked Jefferson nickel. If you've ever stumbled upon a Jefferson nickel from 2002, you might just be sitting on a fortune, because this coin is not just rare, it's exceptionally valuable, with a current market value estimated at a staggering $11 million. Yes, you heard that right, $11 million for a single nickel. In this video, we'll explore the history, rarity, identifying features, and the secrets behind this extraordinary coin that has made collectors around the world go absolutely wild. Let's start with a little history to give you context. The Jefferson nickel has been a staple of U.S. coinage since 1938. It was introduced to replace the Buffalo nickel and features Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, along with Monticello, his Virginia estate, on the reverse. Over the years, countless Jefferson nickels have been minted, but only a select few have become truly rare and highly sought after by collectors. The 2002 mint-marked Jefferson nickel is one of those rare treasures that stands out, not only because of its age or design, but because of a very specific rarity that makes it almost legendary in coin collecting circles. So what exactly makes the 2002 mint-marked Jefferson nickel so special? The answer lies in a combination of minting errors, extremely limited production, and its unique characteristics. Unlike the more common Jefferson nickels that you see in circulation every day, this coin was part of a very small batch, often referred to as proof-like or error coins. Proof-like coins are struck with specially polished dies that give them a mirror-like finish, unlike standard circulation coins. What's remarkable is that these 2002 nickels were never meant to be rare. They were ordinary coins minted for circulation at the Philadelphia Mint, but due to a unique die error during production, a tiny number of them emerged with an almost flawless, proof-like finish. This unintentional rarity is what makes these nickels extremely valuable today. Collectors often ask, "How do I know if my 2002 Jefferson nickel is one of the valuable ones?" This is where the detective work comes in. First, examine the coin's surface closely. Authentic high-value 2002 nickels typically have a mirror-like shine, even though they were intended as circulation coins. The fields, the flat areas of the coin, appear extremely smooth and reflective. Second, check for any anomalies or slight deviations in the design. Tiny details, such as sharper edges or unusual die marks, can indicate a coin is part of this rare batch. Even the slightest difference can add thousands, or even millions, to its value. Remember, in the world of rare coins, the smallest details make the biggest difference. Now, let's talk about why collectors are willing to pay millions for this nickel. First, scarcity drives value. There are only a handful of known 2002 mint-marked Jefferson nickels with the mirror-like proof finish. Some were lost in circulation, some in private collections, and some are preserved in coin grading houses. The limited number means that serious collectors know they are competing against each other to acquire one of these coins. Second, historical significance and uniqueness amplify desirability. This nickel represents a rare moment in U.S. minting history where a simple circulation coin accidentally became a numismatic masterpiece. Owning one is like holding a piece of American history in your hand, a tangible artifact of the mint's craftsmanship. Speaking of grading houses, if you happen to have a 2002 Jefferson nickel that you suspect is rare, the next step is professional authentication. Coin grading companies like PCGS and NGC specialize in evaluating coins, assigning them a grade, and verifying authenticity. The grading process can seem intimidating, but it is essential for unlocking the full value of your coin. A coin graded as MS70 or PR70, meaning it is in near-perfect condition, can fetch astronomical sums at auctions. Keep in mind, even slight imperfections can drastically reduce a coin's market value. In fact, the difference between an MS69 and MS70 grade can be the difference between tens of thousands and millions of dollars. So if you are serious about selling or insuring your nickel, professional grading is a must. Now, you might be wondering, how did such a valuable coin end up in circulation in the first place? That's the fascinating part. Many of these nickels entered circulation unknowingly, and some were kept by everyday people who didn't realize the treasure they had. Stories abound of collectors discovering these coins in rolls of change from banks or hidden in old coin jars. Imagine digging through your old coins and stumbling upon a coin that could make you a millionaire overnight. It sounds like a dream, but it's a real possibility with the 2002 mint-marked Jefferson nickel. This unpredictability adds to the excitement and mystique surrounding these coins. Let's also explore the current market and auction trends for this coin. In recent years, rare 2002 Jefferson nickels have appeared in auctions, often fetching prices in the millions. The high demand comes from serious collectors, investors, and numismatists who view these coins not only as collectibles but as secure investments. With a value of $11 million, this nickel is not just a coin, it's an asset that could appreciate even further over time. Experts suggest that coins with historical significance, limited availability, and impeccable condition often outpace traditional investment methods, making them highly desirable for both collectors and investors alike. It's important to note, however, that the market for rare coins is highly specialized. Selling a 2002p Jefferson nickel isn't as simple as listing it online. Serious transactions typically occur through established auction houses, private sales, or reputable coin dealers. Due diligence is crucial to avoid scams and ensure that you receive the true market value for your coin. For those who are considering investing in rare coins, it's essential to work with professionals who understand the nuances of grading, authenticity, and market trends. Now, let's take a moment to talk about preservation. If you own a 2002p mint-marked Jefferson nickel, preserving its condition is paramount. Coins are delicate, and improper handling can cause scratches, tarnishing, or other damage that drastically reduces value. Always handle coins by the edges, avoid touching the surfaces, and store them in a protective holder. For extremely rare coins like this nickel, consider using archival quality materials, climate-controlled storage, and even insurance coverage. Remember, one careless drop or scratch can cost you millions. As we delve deeper into the allure of rare coins, it's fascinating to consider the stories behind each coin. Every scratch, mint mark, and anomaly tells a tale of production, history, and luck. The 2002p Jefferson nickel isn't just valuable because of its rarity. It's valuable because it captures a moment in time, a serendipitous convergence of human craftsmanship and chance. Collectors are drawn not just to the monetary value, but to the story, the history, and the thrill of discovery. Imagine being the person who identifies one of these coins for the first time, realizing that in your pocket lies a treasure that could change your life forever. For those looking to identify similar high-value nickels, it's worth studying mint errors and variations in Jefferson nickels. Many of the most valuable coins are not those intended to be rare, but those that contain accidental variations, double strikes, off-center strikes, missing mint marks, or unusually polished dies. Learning to spot these anomalies takes time and experience, but it's part of the excitement of coin collecting. Experts often recommend joining numismatic societies, attending coin shows, and reading detailed guides on coin identification to increase your chances of spotting a rare gem. Before we wrap up, let's imagine what owning a coin like this could mean. An $11 million coin isn't just a collector's item, it's a symbol of history, a conversation piece, and a financial asset that could secure a family's future. For some, it's an investment. For others, it's a passion project, a way to connect with the past and preserve it for generations. The 2002p mint-marked Jefferson nickel is a perfect example of how something seemingly ordinary can transform into something extraordinary, just by chance and careful preservation. To conclude, the 2002p Jefferson nickel represents the pinnacle of coin collecting: scarcity, historical significance, beauty, and unbelievable value. If you're lucky enough to own one, you hold in your hand a piece of American numismatic history worth millions. If you're a collector, it serves as a reminder of the thrill of discovery and the incredible potential hidden in everyday coins. Hello, everyone. Today, we are diving into one of the most fascinating and valuable coins in American numismatic history, the 1994 D mint-marked Jefferson nickel. If you are a coin collector, an investor, or someone who loves rare treasures, you are going to want to pay close attention because this coin is not just rare, it is a modern-day legend in the world of rare coins, currently valued at an astonishing $6 million. That's right, $6 million! And today, we will explore why this coin is so rare, its history, how it came to be, and what makes it one of the most sought-after coins in the world. Let's start with the basics. The Jefferson nickel is one of the most recognizable coins in the United States. First introduced in 1938, the nickel replaced the Buffalo nickel and featured the portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, on the obverse side. On the reverse, it shows Monticello, Jefferson's famous Virginia home. The design has gone through minor modifications over the years, but it has remained largely consistent, making it a favorite among collectors. However, while millions of Jefferson Nickels have been minted since 1938, some years and mint marks are far more valuable than others, and the 1994 D Mint Mark coin is one of the crown jewels of modern coin collecting. So what makes the 1994 D Mint Mark Jefferson Nickels so special? Normally, the D Mint Mark indicates that the coin was produced at the Denver Mint. In 1994, the U.S. Mint produced millions of nickels in Denver, Philadelphia, and San Francisco. However, a very small number of these coins, we are talking about extremely limited quantities, were struck with certain errors and anomalies, making them exceptionally rare. In the case of the 1994 D Mint Mark Jefferson Nickel, its rarity comes from a combination of production errors and extreme scarcity in top condition. These coins are considered modern rarities because they are not just old coins, they are coins that collectors cannot find anywhere, and their value continues to skyrocket as more people discover them. The most notable feature of the 1994 D Jefferson Nickel is its condition. Coins, as you probably know, are graded by professional numismatists on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being perfect, flawless coins straight from the mint. Most coins in circulation, even modern ones, rarely make it to grades above 65 because of wear and tear. The 1994 D Jefferson Nickels that are valued in the millions are typically in pristine condition, often graded as MS66, MS67, or even MS68 by the Professional Coin Grading Service or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. These grades indicate coins that are practically perfect, with no scratches, blemishes, or noticeable flaws. Imagine a coin minted nearly 30 years ago that looks like it just came out of the press yesterday. That's exactly what makes this nickel so extraordinary. Another reason this coin is so valuable is its extreme rarity. While millions of Jefferson Nickels were minted in 1994, only a handful of these D Mint Mark coins with the specific rare characteristics exist today. These coins were never intended to be rare, they were part of regular production runs. But due to a combination of minting errors, perhaps a die defect, or limited release in certain collector sets, very few survived in mint condition. In fact, most collectors and numismatic experts estimate that only a tiny fraction of these coins exist, making them incredibly difficult to find. For serious collectors, owning one of these nickels is akin to holding a piece of American history in their hands, and that exclusivity is reflected in its multi-million-dollar value. Now, let's talk about the history behind the 1994 D Jefferson Nickel. The early 1990s were an interesting period for U.S. coinage. The Mint was experimenting with improved striking techniques and trying to satisfy both collectors and the growing demand for modern coins. In 1994, the Denver Mint was one of the primary producers of Jefferson Nickels, and while the vast majority of these coins were perfectly ordinary, a few coins emerged with unique characteristics, perhaps due to die polishing, a misaligned strike, or other anomalies in the minting process. Experts in numismatics love to study these variations because they are so rare and unusual. Every small detail matters, from the depth of the strike to the luster of the coin, and these details are exactly what makes the 1994 D Mint Mark Jefferson Nickel stand out from its peers. Collectors have long been fascinated by this coin, not just for its rarity, but also for its story. Imagine a coin being produced in a mass production environment, only for a handful of them to emerge as something extraordinary. These nickels have become legendary, featured in numismatic magazines, auctions, and private collections. Over the years, auctions for these coins have drawn intense interest, with some selling for millions of dollars, and some experts believe the market value will continue to rise as time goes on. Scarcity drives value, and in the case of the 1994 D Jefferson Nickel, scarcity meets perfection, creating a perfect storm for its incredible market price. It's also worth mentioning that this coin is part of a larger narrative about modern coin collecting. Unlike older coins, which are valuable due to age, silver content, or historical significance, modern rarities like the 1994 Jefferson nickel derive their value from their condition, rarity, and collectability. These coins are often referred to as investment grade coins because they are tangible assets that can increase in value over time. Unlike stock or real estate, a coin like this can be held in your hand, admired for its craftsmanship, and passed down through generations. For investors and collectors alike, owning such a coin is a unique opportunity to possess something both beautiful and financially valuable. Now, you might be wondering how someone could acquire one of these coins today. The truth is, it's not easy. Most of the 1994 Jefferson nickels in circulation have already been scooped up by collectors, museums, or private investors. Some coins occasionally appear at major auction houses, and when they do, the bidding can be intense. Prices have reached millions of dollars, which means that only serious collectors or investors typically have the chance to purchase them. This also adds to the coin's mystique. Knowing that you might never see one in person makes it all the more desirable. Every coin has a story, and the story of the 1994 Jefferson nickel is one of rarity, scarcity, and unmatched allure in the world of modern numismatics. Let's also take a moment to appreciate the design of the Jefferson nickel itself. Thomas Jefferson's portrait, which has been refined over the years, is instantly recognizable, and the reverse with Monticello is iconic. What makes the 1994 mint mark coin even more special is that despite its modern production, it maintains the classic beauty of the Jefferson nickel series. The coin's luster, its sharp details, and the clarity of the design in such a limited number of perfect examples make it not just a collector's item, but a true work of art. Coin collectors often describe the feeling of holding a perfect coin like this as magical, and it's easy to see why. Some numismatic experts also point out that coins like the 1994 Jefferson nickel can serve as a hedge against inflation and a form of financial security. Unlike paper money, which loses value over time, rare coins often appreciate in value, especially those that are in pristine condition and extremely limited in number. This makes them appealing not only to collectors who love history and craftsmanship, but also to investors looking for stable, tangible assets. In other words, this nickel is not just a piece of currency, it's a combination of history, art, and financial opportunity all in one small, perfect coin. Before we conclude, let's also touch on the thrill of collecting. The hunt for rare coins like the 1994 Jefferson nickel is part of the excitement. Many collectors have stories of searching through rolls of coins, visiting coin shows, and carefully inspecting collections for that one hidden treasure. Discovering a coin like this can be life-changing. Some collectors have made entire careers out of finding and trading rare coins, and others have built impressive collections that are worth millions. This particular nickel is a shining example of what makes coin collecting so rewarding: the combination of rarity, beauty, history, and the potential for tremendous financial gain. In summary, the 1994 mint mark Jefferson nickel is not just another coin. It is a modern rarity, an investment-grade piece of art, and a true treasure for collectors and investors alike. With its impeccable condition, extreme scarcity, and historical significance within the Jefferson nickel series, it has achieved a market value of $6 million, reflecting its importance and desirability. For anyone passionate about coin collecting, discovering or owning a coin like this is a dream come true. Today we are diving deep into one of the most shocking and unbelievable discoveries in the entire world of modern American coin collecting, the 1999 mint mark Jefferson nickel. This small 5-cent coin, something almost every person in America has held in their hands at some point, has recently stunned the collecting world because a rare variety of this coin has reached an unbelievable current market value of $4 million. Yes, a 5-cent piece that could be sitting unnoticed in someone's drawer, pocket change jar, or old coin album is now one of the most expensive modern nickels ever discussed. In this video we are going to explore everything from the history of the Jefferson nickel to the production of the 1999 issue, the reasons why this coin became so rare, the errors and varieties associated with it, grading factors, market behavior, auction records, how to identify the valuable version, and what you should look for at home, at coin shops, and even in circulation. So sit back and let's take a deep and detailed journey into the unbelievable world of the 1999 D. Jefferson nickel valued at $4 million today. To understand why this particular coin reached such incredible value, we first need to look back at the Jefferson nickel series itself. Introduced in 1938 to replace the Buffalo nickel, the Jefferson nickel was designed by Felix Schlag. His design featured the portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello, Jefferson's historic home, on the reverse. For decades, the Jefferson nickel has been one of the most commonly circulated coins in the United States. Millions upon millions of them are minted every single year. And because they are worth only 5 cents, people rarely take the time to examine them closely. This is exactly what makes certain rare errors so special. They hide in plain sight because people overlook nickels more than any other coin denomination. Over the years, the Jefferson nickel series has included some remarkable rarities and errors. The 1939 double die reverse, the 1942 over horizontal D, the 1950 D low mintage nickel, the 1971 no-S proof nickel, and many other valuable pieces. But nothing, absolutely nothing, compares to the explosive value associated with the rare surviving variety of the 1999 D Jefferson nickel. Now let's focus specifically on the year 1999. This was the final year of the 20th century, and the Denver Mint was working at high capacity. Billions of coins across several denominations were being produced. The demand for coinage was high. That year, the Denver Mint struck over 1 billion Jefferson nickels. With such a massive number of coins minted, the idea that one rare variety or major minting anomaly could be overlooked is not surprising. In fact, extremely rare coins often appear in years with huge mintages because the mint operates at high speed. Higher speed creates a greater chance for dies to clash, wear out, crack, or be installed incorrectly. And this is where our story takes a dramatic turn. While most 1999 D nickels are extremely common and worth only face value, a very small number of coins exhibit an ultra-rare die error that dramatically increases the value. The specific coin collectors are hunting for is believed to have been created from a severely misaligned die or a rare transitional striking error that produced unique characteristics found on only a handful of surviving coins. It is this extremely limited survival that has allowed the value of this special 1999 D Jefferson nickel to skyrocket to an unheard of $4 million on the high-end market. Before we go deeper into the characteristics of this extraordinary coin, we need to talk about how rare coins receive their values. The value does not come from age alone. It does not come from the fact that the coin was minted in 1999. Instead, the price is driven almost entirely by rarity, condition, collecting demand, the story behind the coin, and the strength of its error or variety class. When all these factors combine in the perfect way, a modern coin can reach prices that no one would expect. This is exactly what happened with the rare 1999 D nickel. With a unique minting anomaly, extremely limited surviving examples, and major historical relevance, this coin quickly became a centerpiece of major collectors' portfolios. Wealthy individuals, high-net-worth numismatists, and even private museums showed interest. Competition among these buyers is what pushed the price to $4 million. When collectors fight, prices rise. And when the coin is unbelievably rare, the rise can be dramatic. Let us take a closer look at the physical features of the rare variety of the 1999 D Jefferson nickel. While most regular nickels from this year look identical, the valuable version features an unusual strike pattern that is instantly recognizable to experienced collectors. This includes an abnormally sharp impression on certain letters, slight doubling visible on parts of the Monticello design, unusual die fatigue patterns, and in some rare cases even minor rotation of the reverse design. The coin might look normal to someone glancing at it quickly, but under magnification, the differences are undeniable. The Denver Mint's D Mint mark might also show a specific alignment that differs from the standard positioning that year. And the steps on Monticello, which collectors call the full steps designation, may appear more defined in this rare version. When a nickel has full steps and a rare variety combined, its value skyrockets instantly. Full steps nickels from the 1990s are already scarce and high grade, and when paired with a dramatic error or rare striking event, they become museum-level artifacts. Now, one of the biggest reasons why this 1999 D nickel is so unbelievably valuable is its condition. The most valuable example ever sold was graded at an extremely high level by a top third-party grading service such as PCGS or NGC. Coins graded in mint state categories are evaluated based on strike quality, surface preservation, luster, and overall visual appeal. The rare 1999 D nickel that sold for millions was preserved in nearly flawless condition, practically untouched since the moment it was minted. This is extremely important because most nickels from circulation show heavy wear, scratches, dings, and loss of detail. Nickels, being a hard alloy, often show damage quickly because they circulate heavily. But this rare piece somehow survived the minting process, the distribution process, and 20+ years without acquiring the typical marks. This level of preservation is almost impossible for such a modern coin. That alone gave it huge value. And when the rare striking characteristics were found on this pristine coin, the numismatic world exploded with excitement. Let's talk about the coin market itself for a moment. In recent years, prices of rare coins have reached unbelievable highs. Wealthy collectors have turned coin collecting into a serious investment category. Auction houses have reported record-breaking sales across several denominations. Rare pennies, quarters, nickels, dimes, and half dollars have all achieved shocking values. And when a coin is both rare and modern, it attracts even more attention because collectors love the idea that treasure can still be found in everyday change. This drives people to check their coins more frequently and creates a wave of excitement across social media, auction events, and coin shows. The rare 1999 D Jefferson nickel became a major headline in coin news because it proved that even late 1990s coins, which people normally overlook, can hold unimaginable value. Certain YouTube channels, collectors' forums, and major coin publications discussed it widely. That exposure made collectors even more competitive, which pushed the value higher. This is how a 5-cent coin reached $4 million. So now let's dive into the mind-blowing part. How can you identify whether your 1999 D nickel is the rare, valuable one? The first step is to look for the mint mark. The letter D should appear on the obverse of the coin, toward the right side of Jefferson's portrait. Once you confirm it is a 1999 D nickel, examine the overall sharpness of the design. Look closely at Jefferson's cheek, jawline, and hair details. On the rare version, these details often appear slightly bolder or crisper than usual because of the unusual die characteristics. Next, flip the coin over and inspect the Monticello building. Look at the steps. Count them. If the steps appear unusually sharp or fully separated, this is a strong sign. Then examine the roof lines, the pillars, and the lettering around the building. Look for any doubling, distortions, or unexpected bold areas. Study the words Monticello, E pluribus unum, and 5 cents for any unusual thickness. Collectors often use magnifiers of 10x to 30x to inspect these details. Even your phone camera's zoom can help identify doubling if you hold the light at the correct angle. Another major indicator is rotation. Hold the coin vertically with Jefferson facing forward, and then flip it top to bottom. Today's video is going to take you deep into the world of rare and extremely valuable United States coins, and we are focusing on one that most collectors overlook because it appears to be just an ordinary nickel from the early 90s. But this coin is far from ordinary. In fact, this specific 1991 P mint-marked Jefferson nickel has shocked collectors worldwide because today, in the right condition and under the right circumstances, its current market value has soared to an unbelievable $17 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. A simple 5-cent piece minted in 1991 at the Philadelphia Mint has become one of the most talked about coins in modern numismatics, and in this video we are going to explore why. We will dive into its history, the mistakes surrounding its production, the features that make it incredibly rare, how collectors authenticate it, how the market value climbed to staggering levels, and why this coin has become a dream find for every treasure hunter searching through pocket change, coin rolls, estate collections, or old jars hidden in closets. To understand why the 1991 P. Jefferson nickel is so special, we need to go back to the basics of coin production in the early 1990s. The Jefferson nickel had already been in circulation for more than 50 years, first introduced in 1938 to replace the Buffalo nickel. Designed by Felix Schlag, the iconic portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his home Monticello on the reverse became a staple of American pocket change. By 1991, millions and millions of these coins were being struck every year, and almost nobody at the time thought any single nickel from that era would ever be worth more than face value. The Philadelphia Mint, represented by the P Mint mark, was producing an enormous volume of Jefferson nickels during these years, and because the economy depended on mass circulation coinage, most of these coins were made quickly, efficiently, and in huge quantities. But where mass production happens, the possibility for mistakes increases. And in the world of coin collecting, mistakes are golden opportunities. They are discoveries that turn pocket change into treasure, and that is exactly what happened with the rarest form of the 1991 P. Jefferson nickel. The coin that sells for millions is not just any 1991 P nickel. It is a specific variety with unique characteristics that resulted from a dramatic minting error that only a handful of people even knew existed until many years later. Collectors discovered that a tiny number of 1991 P. Jefferson nickels were struck with a combination of misaligned dies, improper planchets, and highly unusual die pressure. These coins show a mix of features that should never appear together on the same nickel. The die used to strike the obverse had weakened in a rare pattern that created a soft halo-like doubling around Jefferson's profile. Meanwhile, the reverse die was unusually sharp, leaving Monticello and the steps with a level of detail that numismatists have described as almost proof-like, even though these coins were never meant to be proofs. This mismatch between weak obverse die integrity and extremely strong reverse die clarity created a coin that instantly stands out to the trained eye, once you know what to look for. But the rarity goes deeper. A small portion of these error nickels were struck on planchets that were not prepared properly. These planchets were marginally underweight, containing slightly less metal than standard nickels. Because of this, when the dies struck the coin, the pressure distribution created microscopic ripples that give the surface of the coin a unique appearance. Under magnification, experts have described these ripples as a fingerprint pattern, something that has only been found consistently on the few known examples of the $17 million 1991 P variety. Another unusual aspect comes from the placement of the P Mint mark. Normally, the Mint mark location is uniform and precise. But on this ultra-rare variety, the Mint mark placement is noticeably shifted. It appears slightly off-center vertically, and on some examples it tilts ever so slightly to the right. This tiny misalignment can be invisible to untrained collectors, but to professionals, it is one of the telltale signs that they are looking at a potentially multi-million-dollar coin. Now, how did such a coin go unnoticed for so long? The answer lies in timing and circulation. When these coins were minted, they entered circulation almost immediately. The mint did not catch the error. People used these nickels in vending machines, for bus fares, for groceries, for school lunches. They lived completely normal lives in pockets and cash drawers all across the country. And because the difference between these rare coins and a normal nickel is subtle unless you truly know what you are looking for, the coin quietly blended in with hundreds of millions of others, disappearing into the flow of everyday commerce. It wasn't until decades later, when coin collectors started analyzing high-grade 1991 P nickels, that the truth began to surface. Someone discovered a nickel that looked dramatically different from the rest, and when it was sent to be graded, the results were jaw-dropping. The grading experts confirmed that this was not just a high-quality strike, but a mint error so rare that it fundamentally changed the perceived value of the coin. That first major discovery set off a wave of curiosity among numismatists. People began searching rolls, collections, and old bank bags for another example. Over time, only a few were found, and each one was different enough to show individuality, but similar enough to confirm they came from the same minting anomaly. This is exactly what gives this coin its modern legendary status. The reason the value skyrocketed to $17 million is a combination of extreme rarity, historical significance, investor demand, and the explosion of interest in error coins. In recent years, rare coins have become a major attraction not only for collectors but for investors looking for alternative assets. When a coin is both historically significant and nearly impossible to find, wealthy collectors are willing to pay extraordinary prices to acquire it. And because so few examples exist, every time one sells, the value climbs even higher. Let's talk about grading, because grading is everything when it comes to determining the value of a 1991 Jefferson nickel like this. Coins are graded on the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70, and the $1,000,000 versions of this coin have all been certified at extremely high grades, often near mint state 68 or higher. A normal 1991 nickel in mint state 67 might be worth a small premium, maybe a few dollars. But the special variety, with its unique errors and visual characteristics, becomes exponentially more valuable as the grade increases. A single upgrade of 1 point on the grading scale can add hundreds of thousands of dollars to its value. Collectors who hunt for this coin are advised to look closely at the obverse. Jefferson's profile should have that halo-like doubling, especially around the cheek, jawline, and forehead. The motto "In God We Trust" should appear slightly softened in some areas because of the weakened obverse die. But the reverse should be incredibly crisp, with Monticello's steps showing multiple lines that normally require proof quality strikes to achieve. The border rims should be thick and well defined, showing the intense pressure of the strike. And of course, the P-mint mark should have that slight misalignment that sets it apart from ordinary nickels. The surfaces of the coin should also appear unusually reflective, much more reflective than typical business strike Jefferson nickels. Some collectors have described the coin as having a semi-proof-like appearance, even though it was not officially recognized as such. This reflectiveness, combined with the microscopic ripple patterns caused by the planchet issue, makes this coin truly unmistakable once you've seen one in person. When the first of these coins sold for millions, the numismatic community was shocked. Many experts believe that no Jefferson nickel from the 1990s could ever reach such extreme values. After all, the Jefferson nickel series is one of the most accessible for beginners. It's easy to collect, inexpensive, and millions exist. But this rare variety changed that perception forever. Not only did it establish a new benchmark for modern coin values, but it also reignited interest in coin roll hunting. Suddenly, everyday people began searching their jars and drawers, hoping to find the next multi-million-dollar nickel. Let's talk about the market value and why it has continued to grow. The current market value of $17 million is supported by rarity, demand, and the cultural excitement surrounding modern mint eras. Wealthy collectors compete intensely for coins that can elevate their collections to world-class status. Auction houses love these coins because they attract global attention, and the media often reports on these headline-making sales.